Alright, so this is my Ninja 250. I've had it for a couple months now. As a new rider, and just someone interested in motorcycles, this is the bike that made me interested in buying a motorcycle. Because I just love the design of it, I love the look. And it had nothing to do with it being a 250. I mean, I now, riding the bike, I now understand why the 400 became more of the standard. And I have been looking at bigger bikes. I've been looking at 500s, and I've been looking for a 600. And I like the 600 a lot. Okay, guy. But the 500s, I don't like the facelift version. I think it's an ugly bike. I do like the body, just the head of it, headlight area. I just think is ugly compared to something like my 250. But something that I definitely felt when I got on it was just like how much like longer it is compared to my 250. And it makes sense because when I'm on the highway, I'll duck down like this. And sorry, I was just trying to figure out if that was a line in the road or not. But yeah, like this one has like kind of a short face, and it makes sense because when I get down like this, I'm definitely putting a lot more weight into the front end. So it makes sense that more sportier bikes, even if it's a 500, which it's a bit more heavier in the torque area. It's not like revvy. I think I like revvy bikes a lot more. But yes, the sun is now in my eyes. I don't know how this is gonna look on camera, but sorry, I have to like put my visor down or something. There we go. But I went and rode a 500, and that was a fine experience. I just really don't like the facelift, and the pre-facelift is like kind of a worser looking version of the 250 or like 600. And I like the engine. Like, it'd be really cool if I had a 500 engine in this 250. And I was kind of like loosely looking it up, and it seems like, it's a bit of a project. You gotta like do the wiring harness. You gotta do some prefab work for the engine. I don't know. It just like, I don't know if it's like what I want to do, But so I've been looking for 600s because they look like the 250 and they're the 600, and they're just kind of more of that. I'm also just interested in that, moving up to that tier of bike in general and just having more power. I really love this bike. I trust it, even for an 07. Like, you look inside the engine, and it's good. Like, this is a mint 250. I don't think you could find a nicer 250 than this, other than, what is going on? Sorry, my hand in front of my eye so I can just see what's going on, what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna move over. Anyway, so I went and saw one 600. But it was a bit more of a project bike, it had a bunch of like dust and shit on it, it just would have been so much more of a project, like getting that thing to run and all that. It did look nice though. It did look pretty clean, but it was just like dusty and I wouldn't call it beat up. Like, the plastics look good. The seat looked fucked up to what I recall, so it wasn't absolutely perfect by any means. So I have been waiting, and then a 600 pops up, and I messaged a guy, and I messaged Rob, and he's an older guy. He's like 71 years old, and he's just got this bike sitting, and it's a Ninja 600, and we connect right off the bat because he inquires if I know anything about these bikes, and he just really loves this thing, and I think he just really loved motorcycles in general. And we connected on the whole thing of not liking modern looking bikes. I'm gonna move around this guy. It's hard to talk and like ride at the same time. I mean, I guess it's easier for like the group chat, like when I'm on the intercom or whatever. But you guys see me, right? Yes, you do. So I go and look at it, and I'll throw up like videos or pictures or whatever. But it's not a project bike, but it's not mint. It's a little beat up. And the first day it didn't start at all. It was like really embarrassing for the guy. And he said he thinks it's just the battery because it's been sitting. And I inquired because I was worried about the gas tank, like just fueling it in general, and what that's been doing to the carbs and rust and all that. But he tells me that he has been like keeping it running and riding it and stuff like that. I mean, I believe him to a degree, but I don't believe him as much to the degree as he was trying to have me believe. I could, he had a slow kind of demeanor to him. He had a little bit of a slur. I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. He had some surgeries and stuff. Anyway, he's just an older guy. It is what it is, But I really like the color. And when I sat on it, I had a moment of like, oh, like I love this. Like, ooh, okay. Like I think this is. I was concerned. I was thinking like, am I gonna like this? When I sat on it, I had like a connection moment. So that was the first thing I really, really felt, And anyway, that was day one because I couldn't ride the fucking thing. Day two, I had my multimeter, which was today, a couple hours ago. I had my multimeter. I had a main fuse ready to go. Try to see if I could, just get the thing to start or whatever. Just, some light electrical diagnose, nothing crazy. But he said he got it running. He gave it a shot to see if he could get it running, and it ran. So I went and saw it, and he let me. I took my car. I didn't even have my gear with me, but he let me take it for a spin. And I guess I'm just gonna now talk about my first impression. So obviously it's like longer. That was the other thing. I really loved the speedo, just like interface. I love like the turn signals and all that. I do like my 250s a lot, though. I wouldn't. I don't know if they're comparable in the sense that I like one more than the other. They're just different, but I do like this one a lot. So yeah, it was longer. The way it sat, like the seating position, felt like similar to my 250. I think the weight of it was really different at first because it's like 100 pounds more than this bike. So like I was trying to get it perfectly straight to leave the parking lot area because I didn't want to like turn in it. I didn't want to give it accidentally too much gas, and like I don't know, I didn't want something bad to happen. So I just like very much babied it, and I'm riding it around, and first it's like the power, and I remember the clutch being so smooth. Other than me not liking this bike because of highway where it's like at 70 miles per hour, I'm doing 9,000 RPM. On that one, it was like, it had so much like, it was so much faster, it had so much boost. It had like, I don't know, it just had a lot of like, it didn't feel like I was topping it out at all. If anything, it might be a little bit of a struggle at low speed. Oh God. It might be a bit of a struggle at low speeds. But I remember the front brakes feeling squishy. Like it's been sitting, so I'm sure the tires weren't, probably were the wrong PSI. I'm sure all the fluids are kind of, darker, that they need to be changed and all that. It had like a scratched up, kind of broken part of the fairing on the right bottom side that I wasn't, quite a fan of. I'd rather just the fairings to... What the fuck am I looking at? That's crazy. Anyway, the brake light for the rear doesn't come on. Only the brake light for the front brake comes on, which I guess you're using the front brake like 80% of the time. But it just straight up just does not work. So I think there's just going to be a bunch of like electrical bullshit that I'm going to have to deal with, with the bike being from 1988. But with this one is mint. Like, there are no fucking electrical problems. Like, I feel very comfortable taking this to the beach or something and knowing that I'm going to make it home. With that bike, there's just like electrical bullshit that I'm like afraid of, I'm afraid that it's not gonna be as reliable as this one. It's not. So, it's certainly gonna be like something that I'm gonna have to like put work into. And I have to ask myself, am I ready for that? And more than that, it's like, can I afford to do that? And not really. I'm not really in a like financial place where like this isn't a good idea by any means. I probably shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but I fear that what do I fear? I'm just getting kind of tired of this bike, even though I do really like it. It's just like, for the thing I said earlier about like being on the highway and stuff, and like I really like it because it's flickable, but it just doesn't have the power that I need. And I guess I could have gone, but whatever. I'm making a talking video. It's not like I'm fucking doing speedy shit. It was funny, like his helmet was like too big for me, so it felt like I was a bobblehead. I was in like shorts and a t-shirt because I brought my Miata. Like I was not prepared to ride that ride that bike at all. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I'm just concerned that it's going to be a project, and I also think that like, we shook hands at $3,000, but now I'm just regretting it. I think I could find a nicer one. I think if I just waited, I could find a more mint, version of the bike. But it didn't seem. I mean, the tires looked good. Front brake, I didn't try the rear brake. Front brake felt squishy. The clutch was really smooth. I'm trying to think what else. Electrical bullshit. I don't know, man. It's nice, but I just feel like I could find a nicer one for a better price. But I'm not opposed to getting this one and then, like, giving it a little bit of money, giving it a little bit of work, but it's like, can I really afford that? Not really. And I think I need something more affordable anyway. So, but this one has no power. Like, come on, let's go, dude. Let's go. Come on. It's really easy to get into 6th gear on this fucking thing because, it's just, it doesn't have enough power. Like, I just feel like I'm really topping out the bike, most of the time if I'm not going through the twisties. Like, this bike really loves 45 miles per hour. I think actually, I don't know what it is. Like, even my Miata, I feel like 45 miles per hour is just perfect in that car. With this bike, I would, I don't know if I got that fast. Maybe I did get that fast. I don't know. I was kind of like just around the neighborhood and stuff. So, I know it's not mine. I didn't have my gear on. So I didn't push it. And, the tires, I'm sure, were fucking, PSI of 4, But, I don't know what else to say. I'm just like kind of just mulling it over. I'm just kind of thinking about if this is a good idea or not. And I don't know. I really like my 250, but it's just starting to... Ooh, police. Do not pull me over, police. But, I don't know, man. So, I don't know. Maybe just let me, what do you guys think? Should I do it? Is $3,000 good for this bike? I mean, am I worried for no reason? Should I just say fuck it and get it and then sell this one? And I'm a little concerned about selling this one because of there's like 2 other red ones on the market right now. There's a bunch of 250s on the market actually, and it's funny, there weren't any good ones when I was looking, and now there's a couple, but they're certainly, what the fuck was that? They're certainly not as mint as mine. Like, there's no way. Like, they got broken off like lights and shit. And the other thing is, like, you know, like, I just bought tags for this fucking thing. I did the registration. Like, I'm gonna have to do all that money again. And I think I could make my money back on this thing, but like, you know, 2,400 is like the least amount of money that I would have to do in order to. That's not even breaking even. And you know, like, how long is it gonna take to sell this bike? You know, am I gonna be in a position where I've got 2 fucking motorcycles in my garage with no space? And you know, what if I'm working on the 600 and it breaks down or something? And yeah, I also worry about the electronics and shit, because he fucking, dude, that dude put on jumper cables with the positive first, and like, there was a spark, and I'm just like, oh god, you know, here comes this fucking, you know, guy that's had like surgeries and shit, not be able to remember fucking, they shouldn't, you know, which battery to put on first. So I don't know, man. I just wanted to kind of just discuss it out loud to myself, and maybe other people would like to listen and, you know, get an idea of like what I'm experiencing. And I guess, you know, I didn't think I was going to sell this bike so soon, and I really like it. It just feels different too. I didn't get to like do any of like what I'm doing right now. I didn't really get to like feel it out, because it just wasn't at optimal performance at all when I went to go ride it. You know, it just wasn't there. But it felt good. Like the engine didn't feel like it was, the exhaust sounded pretty good, even if it wasn't the twin pipe, the OEM like twin pipe. I forget what it's called. I think it's like Ashimoto or something like that. But I guess a lot of dealerships would put that on, and so that it's not like OEM, but it's OEM plus kind of to a degree. A lot of people would put that one on, but so I guess that reduces some weight, but not a whole lot. I take it, and you know, it's just a little beat. It's, you know, I want something nice, and I think I got something nice, and I think maybe I just need to get wider tires on this thing or something. Maybe that would make the experience more enjoyable. Maybe I just don't feel as like planted in this one. I don't know. But anyway, there's my daily right there. But anyway, I'm approaching home now, and but thanks for watching the video, and let me know what you think.